Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out today. Ahead of our big announcement, although tickets went on sale today, this is the first press conference for our big March 23rd show at the Copper Box Arena, live and exclusive on Sky Sports in the UK and The Zone in the USA. Coming off the back of a great night, but a disappointing night at the O2 Arena. You know, we talk about this new era of stars coming through in British boxing now. One of those stepped up on Saturday night, wasn't good enough, might not have been ready, took the challenge, came up short against a very good champion in Sergio Garcia. And I'm delighted to welcome Maravilla Box, who, of course, represent Sergio Garcia back to London. Hopefully this time, not with the victory, but with Angel Moreno challenging Charlie Edwards for his WBC flyweight title. It's a packed card of, obviously, a World Championship title defence, 3 British title fights as well, professional debuts, young prospects as well. And before I talk about the fights on the card and hear from all the fighters up here, I'm going to pass over to our exclusive UK TV partner, Adam Smith, head of boxing for Sky Sports.
Thanks very much, Eddie. I agree, the night at the O2 wasn't quite what we wanted, but listen, how brave was Ted Cheeseman, and what a find in Sergio Garcia. Terrific performance. Great bill as well, with the likes of Lawrence Okolie coming back to action. It was great to see, and all those head-to-heads. What a fantastic card this is on March the 23rd at the Copper Box. It really is a stellar night. You know, we've got the one in Liverpool the week after, which is fantastic up on Merseyside, but I think this has got something for absolutely everybody. Terrific to see Charlie Edwards defending his world title for the first time against Angel Moreno. Charlie, what a brilliant story. Showed that if you fail once, you can come back, you can rebuild, you can believe. The passion he's shown, the emotional scenes afterwards in the ring were incredible. And then he joined us on our telecast on Saturday night, and he did very, very well. It was a refreshing change to have someone alongside us, a new young fighter. It was great, and I thought you did brilliantly, Charlie. Well done with that. Now, back to the gym and get on with what you do better than we all do. Fantastic. Great to see you there. So he defends the world title. Terrific British titles, as Eddie's saying. You know, real step up for Joshua Buatsi against Liam Conroy. Very excited to see how JB gets on there. Lawrence Okolie back again. Great to see him back so quickly against Wadi Camacho. It's going to be a really good fun build up there, and hopefully a great night. And Lewis Ritson, who's not with us today, I think he's sparring out in the States, but Lewis, I mean, terrific value for money every single time. He's got to prove himself again after not quite making it at European level, but he's got a very exciting fight against Andy Townend. That should be all action. So yeah, Eddie, I think it is honestly a really, really good show. Well done for putting it together.
Thanks, Adam. A late addition to the show, if you like, although we're still some weeks out, the professional debut of Shannon Courtenay. Shannon, your first professional press conference. Yep. We know, obviously, you've linked up with Adam Booth. Yep. You've had a fantastic amateur career. Yep. And ready now for your debut on March 23rd.
Yeah, I'm more than ready. I think there's been a lot of people asking when my debut's going to be, and I'm just ready to put on a good show, really.
Obviously, women's boxing right now, I remember following you on social media for a long time. You've been a big campaigner of women's boxing, but during that period, over the last couple of years, the game has changed completely. Completely
changed. It's getting bigger and bigger. That's why I've turned professional now, because it's only right that I strike whilst the iron's hot, and I'm ready to put my own name out there, not just in women's professional boxing, but in professional boxing in general. I want to make a big name of myself.
And obviously, some real super fights out there right now. Shields against Hammer, Katie Taylor's fighting Volante. Really big fights all across the divisions now available to women's fighters.
And hopefully that'll be me soon as well.
We'll look forward to it. Professional debut on March 23rd. And we're going to start with a brilliant fight, British and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Championship fight. Wadi Camacho, he just won't go away. I mean, we've done so many fights with him over the years. He's always been brilliant to work with. We've seen him in prize fights. We saw him in that epic fight with Isaac Chamberlain as well. He just continuously improves, continuously keeps carving out opportunities for himself, and now sits with an opportunity to not just win the British title, but to beat a top 10 ranked fighter in the world in Lawrence Okolie. Wadi, you have truly grafted yourself to this position, and now March 23rd, you go and try and do it again against Lawrence Okolie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, the mind is very powerful. And the main thing as well, you know, I used to do things a lot all by myself, but now I've got a great team around me that's pushing me, and I truly believe in myself.
I was talking to Ricky Burns yesterday, and I put John Ryder in the same position, that at times it looked like their careers was over. Are you a believer in just hanging in there, keep grafting away, and the opportunities will come? Because you see a lot of fighters almost have that rebirth, that second wind in a career, and I think that's happening to you as well.
Yeah, probably most definitely. But at the same time, you know, for me doing everything myself and me now having a team around me, that I just feel like I've been reborn since my last 2 fights. And whoever was there watching it, all you see is just a little glimpse, but I'm just improving. And, you know, on this next fight, March the 23rd, everyone will probably get to see another win.
There's been a lot of talk on social media and stuff like that. How do you assess your opponent, Lawrence Okolie? Obviously, he's had some devastating performances. He's had some, I guess, what the fans would describe as some below-par performances as well. But, you know, 11 fights in, obviously achieved a lot in a short space of time.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, you have to give him props. Like I said, he's come from GB, and obviously he's had 10 fights or 11, and he's picked up all these belts. Some fights hasn't been good, but you know, I'm not there to pay attention on what he does. It's all about me, and like I said, everyone knows I'm an awkward fighter, but it's most special as well. Everyone knows that I'm an entertaining fighter. I've never been in a dull fight, and I'll give it all.
And finally, what's the difference in this fight? You know, he has a good amateur pedigree, he has great power as well. Is it your doggedness? Is it your experience that will be the difference in this fight? Your heart? How do you beat Lawrence Okolie on March 23rd?
I think I'm just gonna combine everything together, and everyone will see. Like I said, all I'm doing now is just growing more in confidence, and no one's seen the best of me yet, and you will see it.
Thanks, Wadi. Lawrence, fresh off a victory on Saturday night, you have got one of the maddest new trainers I've ever seen. I've never heard anything quite like it in the corner. But you're enjoying working with him, and you looked much better on your feet, much more composed on Saturday. Admittedly, was a step down from the Matty Askin fight, but feeling good and a big opportunity to get straight back out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. For me, Saturday wasn't really about the guy that I was boxing. It was about myself, how I felt in the ring. Could I do stuff that I practiced in training? And I was able to do a few of those things. And I just look forward to doing the same again in March.
Obviously, like I said, there's been talk, but Wadi, one of the few domestic guys that was willing to step up, obviously has a Commonwealth belt as well. You won that belt previously as well. So we know there's a little bit of bad blood, but also respect that he's taking this opportunity against you and fancies the job. Yeah, no, it's good that he took the fight, but him along with most of the people in the weight class in Britain just like to talk online. And it is obviously frustrating for me, and on March, obviously, I will demonstrate to him and to all of the other cruiserweights in Britain what I'm about. I don't want it to be like, I think stopping Wadi is like a formality for me. Like, he's got a sort of style that I'm definitely going to be able to knock him out, but I think that is way too predictable in terms of like, I'm a big punch or whatever, and Wadi's obviously shown that he's got some frailties there. But I want to do it in a more systematic way. I want to maybe go in southpaw, practice different movement patterns. I want to go in there and show him that he is like a practice fight for me as opposed to like a 50-50 fight. Okay, and the head-to-head on Saturday, I heard you both exchanging some choice words. I remember you saying that this will be the end of your career on Saturday night, on March 23rd. Do you see a brutal ending in this fight? I don't want to wish that on anyone. I think I must have been excited over after my fight, but it definitely will end in knockout, and whatever he decides to do after that, he decides to do after that. And just finally, obviously, you can't look through this fight, but big fights out there for you. People talking about the Lebedev fight and really moving to world level later this year. Yeah, it's good. Obviously, Wadi's a southpaw, so it's very good practice for stepping up to Lebedevs and etc. etc. So I'm very happy with the fight, very happy with where I'm at mentally, and you know, I'm not overlooking Wadi. I'm going to train extremely hard for him and deal with him accordingly. That's the British and Commonwealth Cruiserweight Championships on the line. The British Light Heavyweight Championship, always been a stellar belt, and this fight is intriguing. Liam Conroy, again, one of those fighters, almost like Wadi Camacho, that, you know, I remember watching you lose in Prize Fighter, and you just rebuilt your career fantastically well with some big wins at 175 pounds now. You know, building a very strong fan base in the Northwest as well. and a big fight for you against Joshua Buatsi for the British title on March 23rd.
Yeah, it's a massive fight, but I think it's been a long time coming. You know, I won my British title eliminator in 2017, and I've just been working relentlessly since prize fight aired, and this has been my goal. So I'm just dead grateful to be on the show. Thank Matchroom for getting me on the show against Josh, but it's not about the opponent, it's just about my journey, and British title's my dream, so I'm just going to give it everything I can and keep going relentlessly. I won't stop until I have that.
Obviously, it was a fight ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control, but you didn't have to take the fight, but the deal was quite straightforward, and thanks to MTK, it showed really your desire to take this fight, where many have turned away from this fight previously. Yeah,
like I say, it wasn't about the opponent, it's about the title. I think no matter who it was, I would have took it. People seem to be thinking I've been given something here, being in this fight, but I haven't been given anything. I've kicked down these doors and I've made myself a mandatory challenger for the British title. And like I say, thanks again to you, and thanks for MTK for getting it done and getting me on the card.
Quite right, Liam. You were the mandatory for the British title. You have earned this spot, Josh. This is the kind of fight you've been looking for a while. Knowing how you understand the game and understand and respect boxing, the British title is very, very important to a young fighter's development in the sport.
It is. 2 points just to congratulate Shannon. Is it Shannon? Yeah. Turning professional, congratulations. And second point, we must congratulate this man here, Charlie Edwards, world champion, Charlie. I've told you many times, but I want to congratulate you one more time. And your trainer, Grant Smith. About the title, again, it's not about the opponent. It's a title that I want to win. It's part of the journey that I'm taking. So Conroy is the man that's been put forward, and March 23rd it's going to happen. I'll be doing everything within my will and my power to win that title.
See, last 3 fights have all ended in one round. It's been a little bit disappointing that we haven't been able to get those rounds in the bank. Expecting a tough test from Lee and Conroy.
I've been putting in the work in the gym, and I've been getting sparring that's been more than 10 rounds. So I've been putting in the work physically and mentally, and my trainer will say as the rounds go on, I improve. I get better, I get stronger, I get fitter. So they might think, you know what, he's only done 3 first rounders, but that's cool. I'll be prepared. I'll be there from 1 to 12. So whichever number it is, if I see the opening, I'll take it. Again, if it's the first round, it's the first round. If it's the 12th, it's the 12th. But again, don't be surprised if it's the first. It could happen again. But it could be any number, and I'll be there. I'll be ready.
Obviously, your camps are very intense, training very, very hard. That almost is much more hard work than the fights itself. You know, we joked about you coming back on February the 2nd after your December fight, and you were like, no. You like a little rest, that 1 week off in between camps, but working very, very hard behind closed doors for big opportunities in 2019.
Yeah. I'm working hard, and not to shine the light on myself, because I think everyone on this table is working hard. We all work hard, so the break's needed. But again, right now I've got about 7 to 6 weeks. I'm working extremely hard. Everything's going well, as it should be going. But again, we won't know until the night. Not just until the night, but until the hour. Not just until the hour, but until the bell goes. So we have to wait and see till the bell goes.
Thank you, Joshua. It's a brilliant fight. British Light Heavyweight Championship between Olympic bronze medalist and stellar amateur and prospect Joshua Buatsi and a young fighter in Leon Conroy that has absolutely earned this opportunity to challenge for the Lonsdale belt. As Adam said earlier, Lewis Ritson is out sparring in America, travelled out today. He's defending his British lightweight title against Andy Townend. It's an absolutely brutal matchup. 2 huge punchers, and we're looking forward to that one as well, as Lewis Ritson looks to rebuild following the disappointment of his European title defeat late last year. Joshua Buatsi is correct. Charlie Edwards is a phenomenal story. You know, I think it's been a joy to watch how this guy has been received by the British public, the British fans recently. You know, we know about the story of his mother and the dedication, but it's so much more than that. It's about a dream that he had from the very, very early days of lacing up the gloves. You know, I remember meeting him and his dad early in his career. You know, his dad was so driven, Charlie was so driven, and it was like an obsession to try and become world champion. And, you know, I've never really met many people with that obsession like Charlie and Sonny and his dad had to try and become world champion. I can't lie, I wasn't sure whether, following the Casemiro defeat, he would get that opportunity to become world champion again. And this sport's very, you know, it's all about timing. It's all about opportunities. And that's what I was saying about Wadi and Liam Conroy as well, because this opportunity may never have come. You know, he chased for it. You know, he pushed MTK. They pushed me. Get him a world title shot. Get him a world title shot. It's really not that easy. And I liken this a little bit to Tony Bellew as well, because I have to say that probably a month before we got him the opportunity to fight for the world title, I thought we'd probably run out of chances here. I couldn't see any openings. And then it was very similar to Tony Bellew, who also won the WBC belt. I couldn't find one opening for him to challenge for the world title. And just out of nowhere, that phone call came, that opportunity came for Tony to fight Makabu for the WBC. And it was very similar to Charlie Edwards. You know, that opponent, he didn't want to fight Charlie Edwards. And out of the blue, you know, we went back. The timing of the phone call was right. And it was on at the O2 Arena. But the way he performed, the way he conducted himself was just magnificent to watch. And, you know, he now owns the green and gold belt, which for many fighters, they will tell you that that's right up there as the creme de la creme. You know, you've got the Ring Magazine belt as well. To fighters is an incredible honour. But this belt is one that's worn very rarely by British fighters. The only WBC belt holder right now. And obviously Tony Bellew was the one before that. So, you know, I'm very, very proud of Charlie Edwards and everything that he's achieved, but you can't just stop there. It's not just about, I've done it, because you haven't done it. Whatever happens, no one will take that opportunity away from him, or that memory away from him. But now it's about the legacy. Now it's about banking a defence, then going on and unifying the division in 2019. And when you look on BoxRec and you see #1, that means he's the #1 flyweight in the world. And I think the confidence that he will get from that will take him to another level in terms of his performances. And Grant Smith and those guys, you know, I also believe that you can't achieve anything in this sport without the right team of people behind you. It's impossible. It's a lonely sport. You've got to be guided right from the gym, you know, in terms of your career to the TV companies, everything. And the job that Grant has done with Charlie has been sensational. And to see those two, after the fight, embrace, go to their knees, cry, this is what it's all about. You know, because I know everybody talks about TV deals and money, but you can't take those moments away forever, you know. And to see him achieve that was very, very, very. I mean, he's now my old man's favourite new fighter. Sam Eggington's been given the boot unless he beats Liam Smith, and Charlie's right up there because we love the underdog story. And you know, you go from 4 months ago, really can't find an opportunity, to sitting here now as the #1 in his division. So now we've got to make the most of that. And first up is Angel Moreno. As I said, his stablemate, Sergio Garcia, upset the odds, I guess, a little bit on Saturday night, defending his belt so well. Actually, this fight was made about an hour before doors opened on Saturday night, and I made it with Sergio Martinez. They fancied this fight as well. They fancied the Sergio Garcia fight. Angel Moreno has 2 defeats on his record. One is a disputed loss, defending his European title, and the other one is on points to the current WBA champion of the world at flyweight as well. This is a very, very tough fight. These two have shared the ring before in sparring. Firstly, Angel, welcome. A big opportunity for you to fight for the world title in March.
Sí, muchísimas gracias. Quería agradeceros la oportunidad de poder disputar este título, tanto a usted como a Charlie. Y bueno, quería comentar que no coja de sorpresa a nadie cuando el día 23 gane ese título, que sigáis confiando en Charlie, que es un gran boxeador y lo será aún después de esa pelea.
Thank you very much. This is a great opportunity to come and box here, as it is for Charlie as well. I want to say that Charlie is a great boxer, but anything can happen on the night.
Obviously a big win for Sergio Garcia on Saturday, and you'll be looking to follow in his footsteps in victory in London.
Te inspira un poco el triunfo de Sergio Garcia el sábado para su pelea.
Repite.
Que te ha inspirado esta victoria de Sergio.
Bueno, la victoria de Sergio no es ninguna sorpresa, es algo que tenía que pasar. Creo que Sergio es bastante mejor boxeador y su victoria ha sido muy merecida. O sea, yo tenía total confianza a que terminara el combate ganando.
Yes, I don't think that Sergio's win was any surprise. He's a great boxer and he deserved the victory, and I will certainly look to take inspiration from that.
Well, it was a surprise to us. And also I want to say, these two, I know you got a younger brother. His son is younger than you? Yeah, he's not your older brother, is he? You're like brothers. Yeah. I'm going to start with Grant. Grant, it was an amazing night, December 22nd, and not just one that will live with Charlie forever, but one that will live with you as well, training your first world champion.
Oh, it was a brilliant night. Well, first world champion on a big scene like that, absolutely brilliant. I knew how much that meant to Charlie and his whole team. It was so emotional for us all, and we still speak about it now. We're still speaking about it other day. It was just absolutely brilliant for us all. I knew he could do that. A
real pro. I mean, I saw him yesterday. You know, he's not shy in taking his shirt off, and in incredible condition already. I mean, someone who really, really lives the life in the program.
Yeah, obviously, straight after the fight, we got back 23rd, so obviously it was Christmas. So he had his Christmas back down with his mum and some family. Then straight back up. So week and a half off, straight back in. Grant, when's gym back open? Bearing in mind I was working Christmas Day in gym. So I ain't had no break. So he's like, oh, can I come straight back? So he bumped straight back in gym, training. First day, straight after Christmas, straight back in gym and back on it. Oh, I'm running, I'm doing this. So you just can't keep him out at gym.
Obviously, with fighters, once they achieve their dream, sometimes they give so much soul to that moment that they can let it fall away or they can let it fall off the gas. Oh, Darren Barker is a great example. I remember when he beat Daniel Gill, it was everything. And after that, I always say he lost a little bit of his soul on that night to Daniel Gill because he wasn't really the same fighter after that, didn't really have the same desire. How important is it to make sure, or you're just confident in Charlie Edwards, that he has that desire to go on, not to dine out on December 22nd, but to push on and really solidify his legacy in the sport?
Charlie's got a lot of desire already, but like to keep the fire burning, what do? Add fuel. And I can just put little bits into him. I can just sell certain little things and poof, back up. But you don't need to do that. Charlie's got that. But I know what I could have to do if I had to do that, but there's none of that anyway. He's got that desire anyway.
Charlie, your first official press conference as WBC World Champion. You're looking $1 million these days. On TV on Saturday, you spoke so well. You're looking like a real star. What's changed in your life since December 22nd? Obviously, you're a lot happier. But how do you feel right now as compared to, obviously, August, September of last year?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to you, Eddie, for believing in me. A big thank you to Adam Smith for, first of all, letting me headline my own show. This is a dream come true in itself. And not only that, I'm headlining my own show, but I've got some great fighters and great former teammates on the GB team who's on the card as well. So I feel really lucky and I feel blessed. It's been a lot of hard work to get here, but it's a dream come true. And you said about if the fire dies down a little bit, I want to be a British great. And to be a British great, I want to be a multi-weight world champion. And this new book, it starts now. The hard work really starts now, and it's about dedicating myself. I'm obsessed with the game, obsessed with getting better day in, day out. I want to go down as a great, and this first defence is going to be a really good one. I'm really looking forward and excited about this fight. Angel Moreno is a very good fighter. We've shared, I think, 24 rounds together, so it's going to heat up really nicely on the night. But I'm just so grateful as well that the British public has taken a liking to me. It's been a long, hard road to get here, and I ain't leaving anytime soon.
You had that incredible belief going into that fight. I remember walking into your changing room on the night of the 22nd with flags up and signs up saying new world champion. I was a bit worried, to be honest with you. But because you'd convinced yourself that moment was coming. You know, and all throughout that build-up, earlier on in that year, those opportunities really didn't look like they would be there. Where did that belief come from? And is that just about visualising success that you almost became so obsessed and crowned yourself a world champion even before that fight?
Yeah, I think this is my purpose of life. This is my destiny. And I've got a big self-belief pattern behind it, and I've programmed my subconscious mind when the going was getting tough and it didn't look like it was coming off, I had to believe and had to keep pushing. And at the moment where maybe I come into the gym with Grant and I was in tears because nothing weren't coming off, and I'll hold my hands up. I cried about it saying, this ain't working for me. But Grant was like, just carry on believing it's going to fall. Then a week later, the shot fell. And it was all about just having that faith and that belief that what I've worked so hard for from the age of 11, giving up so much growing up as a kid, it was going to be worth it. And yeah, it is worth it now, but now it's time to make a legacy, and that's what I'm in this game to do.
It was really the boy and the man, you know, looking at the Casemiro performance and December 22nd. You know, you weren't ready for that physically, mentally, you weren't ready for that opportunity. Sometimes, obviously, with us and Sky, there's that hype and you can think you're ready, but once you got in there, it was clear you weren't ready. Completely contrasting performances between that one and December 22nd.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a big believer in the journey, and I had to take them steps on the journey to make me realise what I was in this sport for. Back then, maybe I was in it for the wrong reasons. I was living out in Marbella. I wanted to be known for the wrong reasons. Probably I wanted this Instagram famous, all this kind of stuff. Where reality is, I come away from that, I brushed myself down, and I really got back on track to why I'm actually in this sport of boxing. I'm in here to be a humble guy, to give inspiration to a younger generation coming through and show that these lighter weights, you can go on and achieve things and you can make a living from it. So, yeah, I was doing it for the wrong reasons back then, but when I brushed myself down, I really structured the game plan to get in the position, and losing against Casemiro was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it showed me what I had to do and what work I had to put in to become the fighter I am today. And I'm here, I'm doing it now, and like I said, I'm obsessed and I ain't taking no step down. I know what it's like to feel on the bottom. I know what it's like to feel unloved. I've got the best team around me I have ever had, and this is a start of something very beautiful.
You talk about those smaller weights. Obviously, even the super flyweight in the last 2 years has been, you know, a real star division. Even the flyweights now, you look at Muthalane, you look at also Dakalem, who the WBA champion, who Moreno lost a tight decision to. Some big unification fights out there as well, but also up at super flyweight, where you were at recently. Obviously, Kal Yafai, a big domestic fight. Our recent signing of Rung Savai as well, who'll be fighting Estrada. It's a great time, either at flyweight or super flyweight.
Yes, 100%. First and foremost, I've got to focus 100% on Angel Moreno. He's a top-class operator and a hard fight. But I believe, and I'll put it out there, this is my time. Timing is everything, and it's all come right. And all the other fights, they will unfold in the future. I'm ready now to fight anyone and everyone. And I'm in this sport not to pick and choose my opponents. I just want to build a legacy, and I want to be known as an all-time great in British boxing.
Well done, Charlie. You're certainly off to the right start. Brilliant performance on December 22nd. March 23rd will be your first defence of your WBC title. And it starts for us what really is March Madness. March the 2nd, JD Next Gen, Jordan Gill headlining that card with Anthony Sims Jr., Richard Riakporhe fighting Tommy McCarthy in a brilliant cruiserweight matchup. Lee Wood challenging for the Commonwealth title. March 9, the following Saturday, we're in Turning Stone in New York for Joe Smith Jr. challenging Dimitri Bivol for the WBA Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Maurice Hooker defending his WBO World title. Callum Johnson fighting Shawnee Monahan. Sergey Kuzman on that card as well. And also the professional debut of Otha Jones 3, the US amateur starlet. The Friday after that, we're in Philadelphia for a massive St. Patrick's Day weekend card. John O'Carroll challenging Tevin Farmer for the IBF Super Featherweight World Championship, and Katie Taylor attempting to unify again against Rosie Volante in a brilliant matchup there, and a great middleweight fight as well between Rosado and Selecki. The 23rd of March, we're here. I actually missed out March the 8th. We're in Milan for our Italian show, our second Matchroom Boxing Italy show. March 23rd, we're here, WBC World title, 3 brilliant domestic Lonsdale belt matchups. March the 30th in Liverpool for another great card. Liam Smith against Sam Eggington, Robbie Davis against Joe Hughes for the British and European Super Lightweight Championships, Anthony Fowler against Scott Fitzgerald in a brilliant domestic matchup, David Price out again, and yesterday announced Philip Bowes against Tom Farrell for the Commonwealth Super Lightweight title. It's 6 shows in March. I can remember every single fight, every single day, every single venue, and I could even tell you how many tickets we've sold at each show to the second. That's how much we live and breathe this sport. Anyway, that's enough. We're going to have head-to-heads up here now, and we're looking forward to another great show live on Sky Sports on DAZN on March 23rd. Thank you.